So this is my introduction to X Sudoku. This is very easy, number one, and you'll see the green X on it. What that means is that there's an extra rule. So it basically has the same rules in general. There has to be the numbers 1 through 9 without repeats in each row and each column, and also each square. However, in addition to that, you also have to have the numbers 1 through 9 without repeat on each leg of the X. So that's what makes X Sudoku different. It makes it somewhat harder, and yet it's another place to go for a hint of what might go where. So let's check it out. We're looking at the 9s, and I kind of approach it just the way I normally do, just using the X's when I need to. So I'm going to ignore the X's right now and look at just these columns are covered by those two 9s and this row. So this has to be the 9 there. These columns are already covered, so this 9 has to be in one of those. These columns are covered, this row is covered, so this 9 has to be there, and that makes that 9 there. So especially at the very easy level, having to depend on where things are in the X is much less necessary. However, here's a great example of I have on this X 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I'm missing the 8, and I have the 9. So I know that this is the 8. So it gives me an extra hint there. Now that 8 blocks that row, this one blocks that column, and so that 8 goes there. Now I know these two rows are blocked, so this 8 either needs to be here or here. And the last thing I check is to make sure that there's not an 8 on that X leg already, because that would negate that possibility. This 8 blocks that row, so this 8 has to go here. That blocked out that one, and now that 8 has to go there. Those two columns are now taken, so that 8 has to go there. These two rows are taken, these two columns are taken, so there's that 8. I now have an 8 on that leg of the X as well as that leg, so I have the X's covered, which means this covers that column. I didn't even need to know that that was there to know it has to be here, because it cannot be on the leg any longer. I already had that. Okay, so to the 7s. These two columns are covered, these two rows are covered, there's the 7. These two columns are covered, that's the only one left in that column, so there it is. These two rows are covered, so this 7 has to be in that bottom row, happens to also be on the leg of the X. On to the 6s. Again, as these get much more difficult, you'll find that you have to use the X factor much more to get to the solving. At very easy, you usually don't need it. So this row and this row are covered, so this one has to be in that row. That's the only spot left in that row. This column and this row are covered, so that has to be there. Now both of these columns are covered, so that has to be there. That's all my 6s. On to the 5s. This 5 covers this column, so this one has to be in this column. Don't know which one yet, but that now negates that one, making this the answer. These two rows are already covered just by themselves. They don't even need these 5s. So I know that this 5 has to be in that bottom row. These two rows are covered, so this one has to be in the middle row, and there's only one spot left. Now that one covers that entire column, so this 5 has to be there, and that now makes this 5 there. This 5 covers both of those, so that one has to be there, which knocks out that one and makes that one there. On to the 4s. These two columns are already done. That 4 negates that square, so that 4 has to be there. 4 has to be in one of these two open squares. Can't be that one, so it's got to be that one. Only open square left, still needs a 4, so there it is. This makes that not possible, so there's my 4 there. On to the 3s. This is the only spot left, needs a 3, so there it is. Only spot left, needs a 3, so there it is. This says no there, so here's the yes. Last spot needs a 3, there it is. On to the 2s. This is definitely covered. No way that can be a 2, so the 2 has to go there. This is the last spot, so the 2 has to go there. This says no, as does that, so there's that 2. And now this says no right there, and it also says no on this leg, so that's where that 2 has to go. And then I fill in the 1s in the spots that are left, and that's how you do X Sudoku. Thanks for watching.